So much with Star Trek too. I mean, there's these two worlds just like hard to mesh together, but people love them. But Star Trek, I just want to talk about this very briefly, but Patrick Stewart was talking about Picard, how well the third season did, how much he had fun doing it, how he didn't want to do it initially, and the producers actually convinced him to do it. And then they did the third season, and it brought back everybody. It was the next generation again. In a way, gave him another ending after Nemesis, because Nemesis didn't do that well with Tom Hardy as the villain. Didn't do that well, and there was a bad experience for them. And even he was talking about Tom Hardy was weird on set and never talked to him, which is odd too. He was just blasting Tom Hardy a little bit, But then he said also in his memoir, which is called Making It So, which is a great name for a memoir. Make it so. You know what I mean? It's a great name for it. But he was talking about how Alex Kurtzman was talking to him about this whole thing. And he's like, you know what? I think we should continue this. We should make a movie, a spin-off of Picard, not Next Generation, a spin-off of Picard. And he's actually talked to Paramount about this as well. He's been pitching ideas to them. And he said he's talked to everybody. He's talked to Jonathan. He's talked to Brent, to LeVar James. Is that his name? Burton. I was way off. LeVar.
Reading Rainbow, baby.
Yeah, Reading Rainbow. Talking to him. He's talking to Jonathan Frakes.
Brian. Is that who you're
LeBron James. Totally off. But Jonathan would actually direct too, he said, and he has ideas, and Paramount and him are talking about doing it, but following Picard, not anything else. Is more about the characters they established there, probably his son, probably, what happened with the Borg, and bring that into a movie. But the idea is that he is hooked on being Picard again, and he wants to continue forward. Now, I know Mike doesn't really care much about this, probably, right, Mike? But I'm gonna go to Mike here. Mike, do you think this is a good idea? Like, if you're gonna do this, okay, it did so well the third season of Picard. Should they leave it there, or should they do a movie and like give that finale? Because at the end of Picard, I don't know if you saw the ending of it, but it really was a great send-off for the crew. Why would you continue forward?
Brian, my dog's name is Locutus, as in Locutus of Borg. For short, we call her Q, which, if you know anything about Star Trek, you know that that's a Star Trek reference in addition to her given name. I don't know. Have you seen the third season? I watched the first two seasons of Picard, and I thought they were freaking great. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really interesting to explore more about. That's a hysterical gif. It's more about these characters. Like Jean-Luc Picard he's always been a deeply philosophical character, and Patrick Stewart has always played him with. He just has, he's got this sense of home that they really play with in the series. And apparently the third season got even better reviews than the first two, which is shocking, because the first season was great. Second season was a bunch of fan service and a time travel.
You came back, time travel,
which is like it's the cheesiest kind of Star Trek episode, but honestly, one of my favorite. Those are great to go back to. They always do some kind of crazy retconning about why the Klingons don't have ridges, and make one of the greatest jokes in TV history. I don't even know if it's wishful thinking on Patrick Stewart's part. He is going to be acting like until they lower him into the ground.
It's true. But the third season was so good, Mike.
Was it really?
It was so good.
It was like six. How long ago did Logan come out? And he was playing like a frail, decrepit old version.
He was fantastic in Logan.
Of Professor X.
He's just riding a Cheerio wheelchair in the new Doctor Strange movie. So
it's now on Disney Plus. Logan, by the way. So there you go.
Yeah,
good.
It's pretty awesome. What do you think about this, John? Do you think that's a good idea to do a movie off Picard?
I mean, strike while the iron's hot. He's not getting any younger. You had 4 movies featuring the next generation, if you will. We had Star Trek Generations, we had First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis that all dealt with Picard as the captain and hanging out and figuring out, staying in that universe. So obviously there's appeal to him. Like, he's everyone's or nearly everyone's favorite captain, I'd say, at this point.
Yeah.
So, it's like, if he wants to do another one and, you got a hot show right now, give him a fucking another movie.
Give it to him.
Give it to him. I mean, I don't know what other stories. Like, I think the thing about Star Trek too is you can take like these things as almost, just kind of episodic, almost adventures. Right? They drop them in. You know what timeline you're in. You know what generation it is with the crew and stuff like that. But it doesn't have to be sequential, right? Like, especially the movies. I feel like they're kind of just, taken as one-offs and almost like you can put this in wherever it came into in terms of the timeline.
It's been an episodic series from the jump, right?
That's awesome. Exactly. Yeah. So like, I think it just makes sense. Like give them it. Why not? Maybe it's
they were kind of,
maybe it's a better send off, but I think this is also just about fuck it, let's make money off of him. And
yeah.
No one.
And it's, Patrick Stewart wants to do it, and he didn't want to do it before. But I really like what they did with Picard. I think that really gave him that itch again. And honestly, the third season was so much. It was fan service a lot of ways. Getting back to the Enterprise and getting the whole team back together. But like, it was a good mission. It was about it was about family. Family goes a long way a lot of times too. And they did have a continuing.
We all know that Jean-Luc Picard has his vineyard on Earth that he spends time at. So maybe when they're shooting the vineyard scenes, Patrick Stewart gets to like hang out and drink wine at a vineyard. I don't know if that's something you guys have ever done. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, so it wouldn't surprise me if he just enjoys that aspect of it too.
Sabrina, what do you think? Do you think the fact that they were, had a great send off in this, should they touch this again or let it be? I mean, I feel like they should just let it be. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm gonna be perfectly honest, and it's probably an unpopular thing to say, but I don't watch any Star Trek anything. I just don't. I don't know why. I just don't watch it. I have a reason why. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I just never was on my radar, and like to catch up and like jump in now just seemed like it would be a lot of work, and so I just have just kind of left it alone. In regards to Patrick Stewart, I watch him do anything. So if he wants to do more Picard, more fucking Picard, please for you. Like people love it. Obviously, people love it. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with anybody, loving anything or doing you. There's obviously a market for it. They did 3 seasons. It was wildly popular. He didn't want to come back actually. And they, the producers convinced him, and he had a couple conditions of like how he would come back or whatever. And
he didn't want to wear a Starfleet uniform. He said, I don't want to wear that.
Yeah, he didn't want to wear the uniform. Yeah, that was the thing. And then he didn't want it to be what was the other thing? He had 3 requests.
He didn't want to be a Next Generation show.
Right. So they honored 2 out of the 3 requests. Because that is kind of ish what it is, right?
And he wanted a great send off, and he wanted the send off was him like they shot the sequence where he was like in the vineyard, and he gets here's his dog, and his it's like, honey, come home.
Well, when Mike said he was at a vineyard, I was like, okay, maybe I'm missing out. Maybe I should get into Picard. That sounds amazing.
There's some great Star Trek though.
All post Starfleet, all Jean-Luc wants to do is hang out with his family at his vineyard, like.
I mean, I don't know. He said that if a good movie, he said if they had a good script for a movie, he would do it. So, I don't think he's done. And if he's done, I think there's hope.